There we go. Today's lesson is really an extension of yesterday's. This is 3-4B. We did 3-4A yesterday. I'm just going to do a few problems with you where it's multi-step, but now the variables are going to be on both sides, which you didn't really do yesterday. But you did do in chapter 2, right? That when you solved equations, you did this. So this part of it is not new to you, other than now you're taking equations and inequalities stuff and putting it all together. So that shouldn't look new. There is one thing about this lesson that is new with just in terms of how you answer something. So we'll get there. But this first one should be something that is easily understood if you understood chapter 2 well. So here's the problem. If you are given 6n minus 1 is greater than 3n plus 8. Okay? Now, your variable is on both sides. Okay? What do I do first to get things simplified here?
You subtract 3n.
Okay, so here's the tricky thing. It's getting the like terms together. It's not technically combining like terms, because that means like, oh, they're both positive, we're adding them together, right? We need to cancel it out. So I think on the video yesterday, I did this. I don't know if that's helpful to you. I think I probably did it early on in the semester too. But if we're moving something to the other side, we're doing the opposite, right? So if right now I have a positive 3n, I want to get rid of it by subtracting 3n from both sides, right? So 6n minus 3n is going to give me 3n on the left, and then we still have that minus 1. My symbol doesn't change because we're just subtracting so far. And then I have an 8 over here. Okay, so right now it's 3n minus 1 is greater than 8. What would I do next? You add 1, right? We have right now a minus 1, so we're going to add 1 and add 1. So that becomes, this is gone now, 3n on the left is greater than 8 plus 1 is 9. What's my last step? Divide by what?
3.
Divide by 3. Okay, so we want to leave the n there. Divide by 3. Do I flip my symbol? No, because we divided by a positive, we're going to leave that the same. So n is greater than 3 would be your answer. Okay. Let's try one more like that, and then I'll move on to the new types of problems. Any questions on that one? Okay, let's do this one. This one is 3b plus 12 is greater than 27 minus 2b. Okay, so if you take a look at our b's here, why are we not erasing that? What should I do first? You want to add 2b, right? We want to do the opposite to get our b's together. So if you think of it as, here's my separation. If I add 2b to the right side, I need to add 2b to the left side. Okay? So I'm left with 5b plus 12 is greater than, and then 27, and this went away. So that's, we just have the 27 there. Then what? You're going to take away the 12. So if I take away 12 on both sides, now this is gone. You're left with 5b is greater than 27 minus 12
15.
is 15. Right. So now your last step, you're going to divide by that 5. Divide by 5. So this is gone. Do I flip my symbol?
No.
No. Dividing by a positive, you're not going to flip it. So b is greater than 3. Okay? Questions on that? Okay. So those should look very familiar to you, hopefully, right? Do they look familiar to you? Should. Where there's some change coming in our answers is with this. Sometimes you will have things that are always true, Okay, sometimes you will have things that are never true. So let me give you some inequalities, and you tell me where it would go, okay? If I tell you 4 is greater than 1, is that always true or never true?
Never true.
4 is greater than 1?
Oh,
4 is always going to be greater than 1, right? So this is going to go here. 4 is greater than 1 is always true. What about 3.5 is less than -1? Is that always true or never true?
never.
Never true, right? A positive will never be less than a negative. So that one goes here. 3.5 is less than -1 is never true. What about 9 is less than or equal to 5? Is that always true or never true?
Never.
Never true. 9 will never be bigger, or less than, sorry. 9 will never be less than 5. So that's going to go this way to the never true side. Okay. What about 0 is greater than or equal to -8? Is that always true or never true?
Always.
Always true. 0 is always going to be greater than or equal to a negative. Okay? So, you have things that will always be true and you have things that will never be true. Your answers can sometimes look like this. What's missing from these answers that we normally have? A variable, right? There's no variable. So when there's no variable, your answers will either always be true or never be true. And what you do with that is this. If you have something that is always true, your answer to that is going to be all real numbers. Okay? But if you have something that is never true, then your answer will be, any guesses? If it's not true, what do we often say?
Less than.
How many solutions? No solution, right? So if it's never true, then your answer to the problem is going to be there is no solution. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple problems, and you tell me, is my answer all real numbers, or is it no solution? Okay? Here we go. Actually, let's do this. Just if you're taking notes, put this with it. If there's no variable, your answer is one of these. Either no solution or all real numbers. Okay, so this is like example 5 in the book. And here's our first problem. Let's say we do 10 minus 8a is greater than or equal to 2 times 5 minus 4a. Okay. So we're just going to solve the inequality. What would you do first?
You distribute stuff.
Distribute. Okay, so we're going to distribute this. And we get 10 minus 8a is greater than or equal to 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 4a is a negative 8a. Okay? If we solve this, what's the first thing we would do?
You take away the 8A.
Right, the a's is what we're looking for, right? So I would add 8a to this side, which means I have to add it to this side also. Well, this cancels out, and so does this. So what we're left with is 10 is greater than or equal to 10. Now, here's where you have to ask yourself the question. Is that always true or is that never true? Always true, because it has the equal to, right? 10 is always equal to 10. So because it's always true, what's my answer? Your answer would be all real numbers. Here's what that means, guys. Basically what we're saying is I can plug any number in for A and my answer will always be true. Okay, I can plug in 1 million and this will be true. I can plug in -4 and it will be true. So I can plug in any real number and I will get a true statement. Does that make sense? Okay, so if it comes out true like this, then you just say all real numbers. Okay? Second example. Let's say you have 6m minus 5 is greater than 7m plus 7 minus m. Okay? What's the first thing we need to do in this problem? We're not going to add the 6 yet. We want to simplify first. What can we simplify? Combine like terms, right? So I have 7m minus m. What is that? That's 6m, right? So I have 6m plus 7, and I have 6m minus 5. Okay, to solve that, you got to subtract your 6m. Okay, so we're going to take away 6m from both sides. So this is gone, and this is gone. I'm left with -5. Here's my symbol, and 7. Okay, is -5 greater than 7? No, that is never true, right? So my answer is what? No solution. Okay, so you're solving the same way you've always solved. Now it's just going to get rid of your variable a lot of the time. It does not get rid of the variable in this whole lesson, okay? Some of it you'll have a variable and your answer will be x is less than 2. But other stuff, if the variable goes away, your answer is either no solution or it's all real numbers. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a couple more answers right now and you tell me what the actual answer would be. So let's say I told you we solved the problem and we have -3 is greater than or equal to 7. Would that be all real numbers or no solution? That would be no solution because -3 is not going to be bigger than a positive number, right? What if it was 18 is greater than 15? All real numbers or no solution? That would be all real numbers. Okay, what if it was 19 is less than or equal to 19? All real numbers. That is a true statement, right? So that would be all real numbers. What if it was -4 is less than -2? All real numbers. That's true, right? So that would be all real numbers. And what if it was -15 is less than -17?
That's no solution.
That is no solution. Okay, so just make sure that you're paying attention to what your numbers come out to, and then is it no solution or is it all real numbers? Or can you solve it and get x is less than or greater than or less than or equal to or greater than or equal to something? Okay, any questions on that? All right, that is it. You have 15 minutes right now, so get going.